very momentous occasion. May I, at the outset, Dr. Singh, thank World Health Organization for considering me as your ambassador for the Southeast region. It's an appointment that I most humbly accept. Thank you. My attention to this very dreaded disease was drawn to me by my family doctor, Dr. Barwe, who's present here today. He came across to my house with a group of fellow doctors and for the first time informed me about the presence of hepatitis B, what it was doing to society in general, and what needed to be done in order to cause prevention, detection, and cure. Hepatitis was something that I have spoken about personally, and I've always believed that if there is a campaign that needs to be propagated strongly, effectively, and if there is something personal that can be attached to that campaign, then I believe that the campaign has a greater value. As someone who has suffered and is still suffering from hepatitis due to a blood transfusion, and as someone who was detected with the disease many, many years later, thanks to Dr. Barwe and his efficiency, I realized that how disabling something like this can be if it is not detected in time, and if cure towards this is not taking place, and if the message of what hepatitis actually means and how it can be detected and cured was unknown to me. But when I did find out through my various conversations with very efficient people in this region and connected with this campaign, I felt that I must work towards not entirely eradicating it, but at least making people aware of what hepatitis is. We saw a wonderful video just now of a gentleman, Mr. Karnani, talk about how he contracted the disease, and it could well have been me speaking there because that is exactly how I contracted hepatitis B. In 1982, I had an accident during the shooting of a film. There were about 200 donors of blood. I required almost 60, well, not really bottles, but packets, or I don't know what the exact word is, platelets, etc. And one of the donors of blood was carrying the dreaded hepatitis infection, which at that point of time was not detected because the Australian antigen hepatitis had just evolved about 3 weeks or 3 months before, and there hadn't been an awareness of its presence in the medical world, at least not in India at that point in time. From 82 onwards, right till almost 2004 or 5, am I right, Dr. Bhatt? 2004 or 5. On a regular analysis of what we all go through during the course of the year, it was detected and it was very alarming at that point in time because I was informed by the medical team that 75% of my liver has been destroyed. Having said that, they also reassured me that even if you lose 75% of your liver, you can still survive with a balanced amount. Apparently, even if you have 12% of your liver alive and working, you can live a normal life. One of the examples of living with 25% of his liver is now standing in front of you and speaking to you. And I felt that if I could deliver this message to millions of other people, not just for this country, but for the region or for any part of the world, I hope that with my face and my voice, if it is worth being heard, I would want to propagate that. And that is how this entire campaign began. I was given copious notes by the World Health Organization on what hepatitis means and lots of details, but they have all already been discussed here by the distinguished speakers before me. So I won't get into that. I just need to say there are 2 points that, or 2 or 3 points that need to be given attention. One is that no matter how hard the World Health Organization or people connected with it, or personalities and celebrities connected with it, work towards propagating this campaign, until and unless we get support from the government, from the local governments, until and unless we get the commitment from the workers who are going to go out and spread this message, until and unless people stop discriminating just because somebody is suffering from hepatitis, we are not going to make the kind of progress that we are envisaging towards this campaign. I want to thank the Honorable Minister for the very kind words that he had to say, and to you, Dr. Singh, for saying such lovely words. But I just feel that it's wonderful to hear these words, but how wonderful it would be to hear that we were able to succeed in our campaign rather than in writing accolades about somebody who's going to get connected with this campaign. I wish that the day would come when I would stand here along with the World Health Organization and make a statement, just like we did at the time of polio, that today India is hepatitis free. And that would be a great achievement, I feel, if we can achieve that within the course of this campaign. I want to stress the fact that during the polio campaign, there was huge efforts that were made by all of us. We worked for almost 8 years. There was a lot of resentment. There were many obstacles that came our way, but we fought through it. But we really wanted to give credit to those workers who went out into the remotest parts of the country to deliver the dosage. They were the people who faced the wrath, the anger of the people that did not want to get these 2 drops of polio. And therefore, whenever we design anything for the hepatitis B campaign, please, most humbly, I respectfully want to say that please look after that worker. We will stand here and we will stand in front of the media with a lot of attention, wearing our suits and ties and making strong proclamations, but it is that worker that will go out there and talk to the people and tell them and educate them of what hepatitis is that really matters. I will become a face. I will say whatever I have to say. It will not be possible for me to go out to that village, to that family, to be able to personally talk to them. I wish I could. I wish we could have an arrangement where we could gather these families together. We could gather these people who are not believing in this campaign. I would love to be able to sit and spend some time. But obviously, it's not possible for me to go everywhere. I can make videos, I can write articles. Use me to the best possible way in delivering this message to millions of people. But please do also take care of that worker, because he's the main force that is going to be responsible in the eradication of this very dreaded disease. Thank you so much for having me here today. I hope that we can meet here again soon, Dr. Singh, and members of the World Health Organization, to one day, as I said, announce that India is indeed today hepatitis free. I wish to plead with the government and say your cooperation, your effort is most worthy, most valuable, and most essential. During the polio campaign, we spoke to every state minister and urged the ministry of that state to support us. And I have to admit that it was their support and their help and their financial help that was able to give a kind of bonus respect to the campaign of polio. I would urge the government of India to also include hepatitis in this most valuable campaign. Lend us your support. Put in the kind of money that is needed for the worker, not for us. We work pro bono, but for the workers who are going to go out in the fields and work, and give this such serious consideration. You've heard the speaker before me from Geneva talk about the number of people that are getting affected by hepatitis, and it is equatable almost to some of the major diseases that are existing in the world today, whether it is HIV, whether it is TB or cancer. This is horrendous, but it can be cured if it is detected in time. I remember Dr. Barwe and me went across to the United States of America to get a second opinion upon my hepatitis, and we were fortunate enough to discover that there is a medication which, if taken regularly, may not eradicate it, but would stop the further increase of hepatitis in your body. I can fortunately say that from the recent tests that we have done, that seems to be working on me, because we have seen through various medical blood tests that there's now not really a remission, but a stoppage to the deterioration of my liver because of the hepatitis virus. So if we can all join hands together, spread the same kind of message to the government, to the associations, to the organizations that are working, I do hope that we will achieve what we have set out to achieve to make India free of hepatitis. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Bachchan, for your commitment and encouragement to each of us to work towards eliminating hepatitis.